Hi guys, it's the RPG Brit here, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Tales of Arise. So I'm going to see if we can just fast travel to the entrance. Yep, here. Because our current quest is to go to the south gates, I believe. Yes, go to the southern gates. And I'm assuming we might actually run into the sister at some point. Right. Okay, so that's the one. Yeah, okay. That's the one that was locked. Oh. Couldn't squeeze through there. Well, this one's been quite nice because you've left it in a much better position. I'd like to know who's gonna.
Here from Cislodia, yes?
I was going to say I'd like to know who's actually gonna rule this place now.
Gate, rather than the one you arrived through.
Oh, it makes sense because we're going to a different realm.
After all that, Kisara never came back to see us.
I'm surprised she slipped away without us noticing. Where would she even go? I hope this place survives. You think the Danins and Renins have a chance of getting along? We didn't really do much to change things around here, did we?
This realm had its own walls to overcome. And in the end, it was the people themselves who decided to break them down, without any help from us. I hope they keep going. I really do.
Yeah, well, if you say so, I guess. Huh?
All right. I leave command of the Gold Dust Cats in your hands.
You've got nothing to
There
worry
she
about,
is.
Kisara. I'll do your brother proud.
And that's
Looks
our
like
old
it's
friend
time
as
to
well.
go. Take good care of Zare for me. All right, Legil?
Oh, is she joining us again?
You've got it. Stay safe, Kisara.
Did you come to say goodbye?
Actually, I was wondering if you could use another companion.
Huh?
There you go.
Well, we certainly don't mind you coming along. We just figured you'd stay behind and help rebuild. These people could use you.
I thought much the same thing. However, in the end, something changed my mind. Ever since Miguel died, I've been thinking a lot. About where I went wrong, what I should have done differently. You know, that sort of thing. It's true that our dream of coexistence saved many Danan lives, but we were naive and short-sighted. I was so wrapped up in my idea of how things should be that I didn't see the problems that existed right in front of us. I thought we had been given a utopia. And so I never bothered to look too far past its surface. I chose to be ignorant. And because of that, because of me, my brother...
Miguel's death wasn't your fault, Kisara.
Perhaps you're right. But in the end, it was me he entrusted this dream to. I learned that nothing in this life is free, or gained without sacrifice. Now that I know that, I'll just have to figure out what else I don't know.
So, decided to join us?
I have. And hopefully I can continue to protect Elda Menencia from outside the dream world, for the sake of those still inside.
And here I thought you joined for an opportunity on my life.
In all honesty, I'm grateful to you. I truly am. I don't blame you for what happened. But I must also leave your service.
No longer will I be defined by protecting a Renan lord. From now on, when I fight to protect my dream.
All I ask is that you do your part. That you fight alongside me. Not just for those who used to believe in your dream, but for those that still do. Dohalim.
I understand. I'm no longer a lord anyway.
Well, this crew just gets bigger and bigger. All right, where to, team?
We make for Mahag Sar, the Valley of the Four Winds.
Right, cool. So we're back up to having 6 people. Now I don't know. It's a tough one. I need her, and obviously I'm going to be him. So maybe we'll just stick with the 2 new people for a sec, for a bit anyway. She's tough because I really like Law, but got to make these types of decisions. Okay, so we've got one of these to watch.
I'm amazed how easily you can move such a giant shield around like it's nothing.
Really? It's not actually as heavy as it looks.
It's really reassuring to have someone like you protecting us, though.
You know, I guess I never realized it before, but looking back, I've always been the sort to put myself in harm's way to protect those around me, even before I joined the Eldaman Guard. So in a way, using this shield to keep you all safe feels like it's what I was meant to do.
You don't need to worry about protecting me. I don't plan on relying on you.
That's okay. It doesn't matter if you do or not. I don't protect people because they ask me to. I do it because I want to, and because I think it's the right thing to do. That goes for you too, Dohalim.
Me?
Yes. You see, you and I both want the same thing. We have the same goal. That means it's in my best interest to continue to protect and keep you safe as well. Even now.
I'm not sure how much protecting I'll need either, but I appreciate the thought. I'm sure you'll do us proud, Kisara.
Right. You can all count on me.
Awesome. Oh, got more.
What was Kelzalik even after in the end?
Isn't it obvious? Clearly he wanted the throne for himself, and was gonna have his goons execute Dohalim to get it.
He had to have known he couldn't hope to defeat a lord. He should have run while he had the chance, instead of holding himself up in the palace.
Maybe he thought he couldn't run? Either way, the outcome's the same.
So he got desperate and decided to go for broke?
One might argue that he was another victim of mine, in a sense.
Huh?
There is no greater calling in life to a Renan than the crown contest, yet I refused to take part. The shock he felt at that must have been truly immense. Enough to drive him to revolt, even though doing so meant defying Renan hierarchy.
I know I've said this before, but Dahnans and Renans wouldn't coexist here if it wasn't for your stance.
But that was no lofty idealism on my part, nor do I feel any pride at what occurred.
Spare us the pity party. You literally just joined us to uphold those ideals.
Shionne?
No, she is absolutely correct. I shall speak no more of my misgivings.
And we're done. Cool. Let's head out to the new realm. I need to go back to the ranch at some point, so hopefully there's...
Do you sense one of your friends, Hootle?
Oh. Yeah, there's obviously someone in this area. So, yeah, there's one right down the bottom there. Perfect.
Mahag Sar. That makes 4 out of the 5 realms that I've visited.
This one's mine! Here goes!
Consider yourself finished.
Opted for an intricately crafted weapon as usual.
It is beautiful in both function and form.
You're gonna hate when it gets scratched.
I wonder what we can make with this.
If you can't decide,
Right, here goes! No escape!
It's not on my watch.
Stay calm. I shall provide.
I'm ready! Totally! In an instant! Impact cross!
Nice. That was cool. Impact cross.
Wow.
Right.
Look what I just found.
So the owl is here somewhere. I'm guessing it's up one of these trees, maybe?
What's this thing?
Did it disappear here? Yeah. And it's disappeared there. Oh. Yeah, there we go. I thought I saw it through the tree. Awesome. 20 owls.
Going
Nice.
on in the forest.
Hint, hint. Right. It's like these area isn't that big, so I am just gonna do all these on camera. And these fights are exactly not taking me ages, are they?
With your flames and my technique,
we're stronger together than we are apart.
there's something in the water.
Another fishing point. Are we actually going to get a chance to fish
I
now?
didn't realize there was a pond here.
Yeah, this is Taka Pond. And it happened to have saved my life once upon a time.
What do you mean?
As a kid, I survived life under the past lords by escaping here when I needed to. It's terrible to swim in, but great for catching a bite for dinner away from Renin eyes.
Bear in mind, our rations back then weren't enough to live off of. You had to take matters into your own hands if you wanted enough food to survive.
But how did you catch them? With your bare hands?
That might take a while. Fish are prone to swim away at the first sign of trouble.
I'd put bait or a lure on a line and use it with a fishing rod.
You must not be familiar with fishing if this sounds new to you. Here, let me show you how
Oh,
it's
we're going to be
done.
doing some fishing then. Fishing. Various fishing points are scattered around Dana, which contain different species of fish to catch. These fish can then be used in cooking, sold for gold, or even unlock new titles, so don't hesitate to try new fishing holes when you find them. Fishing consists of 4 steps: casting a line, luring fish, hooking them, and then reeling them in. For more information about these steps, consult the fishing controls topic. Right, select a location.
Now,
I'm guessing where the
might
bubbles are.
those fish be?
No, they didn't like that. That one's coming in.
I've got something.
And we've just got to tap the buttons when they show. We got
We
it?
can get a good meal out of this fella.
Wow.
That fish put up a fight. Good catch.
A Danum bass. See, I'm going to be tempted to try and catch every type of fish now. Let me do one more, and then we'll carry on. So you can see there's different types there.
All right.
Fish on. Ah, damn it. Pressed the wrong one. Got it, though.
We can get a good meal out of this fella.
I can't
Never
believe
done him
you caught
best.
that with a rod. Amazing.
Cool. That's fun. I could probably do that for quite a while. Not going to lie. I'll select rod and lure. You can use different lures, different rods.
And that's all there is to it.
Wow. It seems like you need to have good reflexes to catch anything. I don't know if it's really for me. Kisara? I think I've seen enough.
Oh, sorry. I guess I'm just in my own little world when I go fishing.
Looks like we're going to be here for a while.
That's how fishing goes. You wait for a bite, and then the real battle begins.
Miguel told me that different fish live in different regions, and you have to pick the right rod and lure for what you're hoping to catch.
But that doesn't change the fact it's a giant time sink.
Of course, each fish has its own unique flavor, too. And some of them are supposed to be extremely
She'll like
delicious.
When you
that.
put it like that, maybe it's worth me trying my hand at fishing after all.
You're just in it for the food.
I was hoping we'd get to fish during our travels. And it just so happens I made sure to grab my brother's old rod before I left Vicente. So, if you ever feel like fishing when we've got a little downtime, just let me know.
Good to hear. Thanks for showing us.
Well, we're going to have to try that at Spaces where we can. Hey, you look like you know your way around a rod. I've been fishing a long time and have built up a good collection of equipment for it. I'll share it with you if you're interested. I just want one thing in exchange. All I ask is for you to show me records of any fish you catch. The more you catch, the more equipment I'll hook you up with. If you need anything, I'm always here. Don't be afraid to come up and talk to me. Fishing expert. The fishing expert found at Talca Pond can teach you the basics about fishing. If you show him your fishing notes, he'll tell you where to go to catch fish you haven't found, as well as giving you new fishing gear based on how much you've caught. That's cool. Miguel's rod, beginner's popper. That's the lure. Quest complete. And we've got a fishing skilled angler. Nice. That's cool, but I think we should carry on. Let's heal this soldier. Phew, you're a lifesaver. Now I can get back to my Sorry, forgot I spoke. Carry on. Don't mind me.
I'm always
Okay.
amazed what healing arts can do.
Just doing my job.
There we go.
Hey. Is it just me? Or have those two barely spoken a single word to one another?
I know, right? But after everything that happened with Miguel, is it really any wonder?
Kinda puts a damper on the whole journey though, huh? How long do you think they're gonna keep this up?
If it bothers you that much, why don't you ask them?
Why do I have to ask?
How come you walk together like that?
She really doesn't beat around the bush.
You mean Kisara and myself?
You hadn't noticed? You've been practically joined at the hip ever since we left Vicente.
I guess it's force of habit, most likely. I was always ready to protect him, should the need arise. It sort of came with the job description.
Right. From being in the Elder Menancia Guard. Although, Dohalim's pretty capable of defending himself, isn't he?
Having guards doesn't necessarily mean the one being guarded is weak. No one's perfect all the time.
Even so, it's not like they're entirely wrong, Kisara. You're no longer in my employ, after all.
I don't know. I mean, if it's what she's used to and you're both comfortable with it, then who are we to judge?
But she doesn't serve him anymore. It isn't normal for her to keep following him around like she still does.
You know, she's probably right. And a lot has changed over the last few days. I guess it wouldn't hurt to rethink our relationship in light of the new circumstances. Perhaps I'll give it some thought after all. Does that sound all right by you?
Of course.
You might want to stop asking his permission for every little thing while you're at it.
Sorry. It's not that easy, shaking off old habits. I'll probably need a little time to get fully used to it.
Right, well, I want to do this first. Forge weapon, let's just see. That's quite a few. I can't get any of them yet, which is fine. I'm sure that'll change. Can't get any of them. None of them. I can get that. Yep. Feathered shield. That's pretty cool. Get Silver Sword the Owl. And nothing for you at the moment. They look pretty cool though. That one looks great. Right, cool. So, I want to go back to the ranch just to collect on these. I can do horse now. Let's do cow, pig, and horse. Or to get horse meat? I mean, maybe.
I always love the sound of hammers banging away.
Let's rest up and then we will continue.
Why are you looking at me like that?
That armor you wear is standard issue for the Menancian Guard, right?
Originally, I've added some flair to it in a lot of places.
I noticed, especially with that open back.
We guardsmen pride ourselves on never showing our back to our enemies. It's my way of making myself live up to that. Plus, it makes it that much lighter and easier to maintain.
Makes sense.
Dohalim, do you have anything to say about this?
Every guardsman is allowed to wear their armor as they see fit.
And you, Law?
Huh? Why are you asking me?
Because it's open at the back.
I've noticed that sometimes we come across enemies who fight like you, and try to dodge our attacks at the last second.
I hate those guys. I can get some hits in when they move into attack, but otherwise they slip past damn near everything else I throw at them.
If what you're seeking is a way to more reliably hit them, there is a solution.
Try to outclass them on reflexes?
I possess the ability to command Earth elemental beings to some extent. They emerge as the land itself and take root on my command. They will swiftly bind the enemies, at which point you can dispatch them.
That's cool.
What he means is that he can make plants grow to hold the enemies in place. At least I think that's probably what he's saying.
I'm glad at least one of us understands him. So basically, if we find an enemy that likes to dodge, we should let Dohalim handle it.
I shall do what I can within my modest means to help.
Alright, cool. Let's rest. Cook before resting, yes. Now we've got some more recipes, so let's have a look. So heal, we don't need that. XP boost. Might not be too bad, but we need a sea bream for that. More dropped items is always good. We don't really need defense. HP, no. Rate or rate up. Cooking effect duration plus 20%. That's cool. Retained or up. Elemental defense, elemental attack. And combat points up. That's quite good. Attack up, defense up. Okay. Well, I'm always going to go at the moment anyway for the ones that give us more items and things like that. So let's do more dropped items. That's from battles, isn't it? Let's do that. Cooking duration plus 20%.
This looks perfect. Guaranteed to hit the spot.
Thank you. And we've got a few people to talk to. So let's actually talk to some of the new ones. Dohalim.
Care if I hang out for a while? You worried about what's going on with Menancia?
What makes you think that?
Well, you were speaking to Kisara earlier, weren't you?
It's rude to listen in on others, you know.
Sorry. I didn't hear what you two were actually talking about, though. I just figured it was Menancia since it was the two of you.
I am but a former lord who has abandoned his post. I'm no longer in a position to lead the realm in any capacity whatsoever. Yet Kisara still seeks out my opinions, knowing full well that is the case. This despite the fact I am no longer her master either.
Couldn't it be precisely because you're not her master anymore? It's natural for friends to want to hear each other's opinions.
I hadn't considered that possibility.
It's funny what you miss sometimes.
Hardly uncommon among artistic types such as myself. When lordships are decided based solely on one's astral energy, it can lead to funny results.
But even so, you still took your job as lord seriously, didn't you?
Certainly. I learned to perform my functions. However, I was less interested in ruling, so much as avoiding life and death decisions. Of course, such a mentality in the end led only to sickening pain and death taking place elsewhere out of sight. I pretended not to see or hear any of it, content to let our supposed peace and equality keep me blind and deaf to reality. I was a fool.
But you're making amends.
I would like to think so. The path ahead is dark, yet I still walk on. I merely pray that I shan't fall down any holes along the way.
Now closer,
Best
nice.
Get ready for tomorrow.
I do want to see something really quickly. I'm going to try resting again and see if the other two dialogue options
Shall we
are
get
there.
moving?
Let's rest. Let's not cook because I want to see it also if the food wears away.
I can't eat any.
Yeah, they're not there. Okay. How do I... Can I come out of this? I don't think I can now. Reminisce, no. Yeah, I can't actually come out of it, annoyingly. Right, let's rest. We won't cook. Someone to talk to, no,
You
just
should get
sleep.
some shut-eye.
Let's see if the food is still
All
there.
right,
And it
guys.
is. Nice.
Ready to go?
Something feels odd here. Be on your guard.
Oh, there is another thing
I
to
just
watch.
noticed none of you other Danans have spirit cores. Why is that?
Both of my parents were part of the resistance in Calaglia. In fact, my birth was kept a secret from the Renans.
Mine too. We always lived in hiding, so I never had a spirit core embedded in me like I was supposed to.
What about you, Alphen? You were a slave in Calaglia before all this, weren't you?
To be completely honest, I'm not sure why I don't have one. All the other Danan slaves around me did. I was the only exception. They tended to keep their distance from me to avoid attracting any attention from the soldiers, because of my mask and all. What about you, Kisara? Do you still have your spirit core?
No. I was able to find a good Renan doctor who's sympathetic to our kind, and had them remove it before I left. They did such a great job, the procedure didn't even leave a scar.
One of the benefits of coexistence, huh?
I know that once the spirit vessel was shut down, there wasn't much need for me to hurry. But still, I didn't like having that mark of servitude lingering on me any longer than I had to.
Makes
It
sense.
may sound a little strange to hear me say this, but I'm just me now. Not a guardsman or a slave. I'm my own woman. And this is my chance to have a new beginning.
Oh, got more.
This sure is one rugged road. You'd think they'd keep this at least a little better maintained, right?
Why spend energy fixing that which is rarely used? Repairs require time and effort, which in our world means slaves, often in great numbers. For you, it may be a simple request, but that can quickly become another's difficult burden. Nobody gains anything without someone expending effort.
And you know, somehow that someone always ends up being a Danan, while the Renans are the ones who gain.
True enough. Ideally, in a perfect world, I think it's only fair that the ones who need it should be the ones to perform the work.
However, when doing so could be dangerous like it is here, there are many who would prefer that it be others who risk their lives in their stead.
So, What you're saying is that people will just put up with the inconvenience until someone else comes along to fix it for them?
Exactly.
Indeed. And it is those who can no longer bear that feeling that inevitably take action. Much like the Danins in our group do so now. As strange as it may be to hear such a thing from the likes of myself.
It's true that most of the Danins in Calaglia have been resigned to just accepting things as they are. Still, we can't just blame them for...
What are you making that face for? You're not worn out already, are you?
Nah, just regretting I ever said anything in the first place.
Alright, cool. Let's fight these.
This one will be difficult.
Level 27. Oh, wow. I'm hoping they're quite weak. They seem to be.
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
See you continue on in that thing.
Yes, my lady?
Something you wanted to say?
I'm ready! Commander of Heaven! Phoenix
Over so
They're
soon.
well above our level. But we're only like 23 and they were 27, so... I was actually worried for a second there, but that went very quickly, obviously. Those guys do look quite scary. Okay, I'm going to fight these and then I'll finish this video here. This is a pain. Why can't this Zoogle stand still?
Right.
Perhaps it's time I deploy my secret weapon. I'll stop it right where it stands. This is the binding. This is going to be another tutorial. Grows vines from the ground to ensure enemies and strike them. To ensnare enemies, sorry. Effective on fleet-footed enemies and nullifies their evasive abilities and downs them.
There's nowhere to run from my art. When he slows down, back to our chance.
There we go.
Leave the agile ones to me.
No, it's pointless doing anything because we're going to need to do this again. Why didn't I count? Do I need to do it to the other one? Yeah, I do. But how do I change who I'm targeting? There you go. Awesome. Success. When fast enemies like wolves or monkeys appear, send in Dohalim. His boost attacks will nullify their evasive abilities and keep them from dodging attacks.
In a bind? I'm not done.
And it seems to have a permanent effect on them if you see their legs.
Consider yourself finished.
See you continue on in that thing.
Yes, my lady?
Something you wanted to say?
I'm ready.
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished. Got some interesting moves there, Dohalim. I'm glad you're on our side.
I'm simply glad to hear that I can make myself useful to you all. Huh?
What's wrong?
We seem to have come across some rather unusual objects.
What, you mean that pile of garbage?
No mere garbage, I assure you. Still, I've never seen anything shaped like it before. I'm intrigued.
Are you curious about this stuff, Rinwell?
Yeah. I think he might have found some old Danin relics. They look like the remains of a bunch of objects that disappeared after the Renans first invaded.
And yet here I am, holding them without so much as a second thought. I imagine the sight must be unsettling to you.
Not really, just that it must be nice to be a Renan who has time to indulge in stuff like that, unlike the rest of us.
Ouch.
Are you interested in this stuff too, Dohalim?
Charmed may be a better turn of phrase. I simply love objects that can give me a sense of what their maker was thinking, the history that went into their creation. You see, we Renans have hardly any such objects that trace back to our distant past.
I still don't understand what you two find so intriguing about it, though.
Why not? We're talking about our own culture here.
I get that, but it's not like this stuff is any use now, does it? It's just old. Real old.
Oh, but it does. Holding it in your hands like this, one can feel and engage with the distant past in a way no history book can ever accomplish.
I'll take your word for it. Well, seeing as it's Danan history, just make sure you're careful with it. All right, Dohalim?
But of course.
Artifacts. Artifacts confer special effects simply by having them, some of which serve as bonuses that can be enjoyed after clearing the game. Okay. We don't need to do that, we're just going to play normal. You can now set 6, oh nice, additional arts. Press triangle on the art screen to switch between panels. Arts that are set to the second panel can be executed by pressing L2. Okay. That's really good. A treasure hunter.
That treasure. What a sweet sounding ring it has.
You really think so?
This should make for some good weapon crafting material.
Alright, cool. Well, I'm going to end this video here. It's got a fairly big area to explore and a couple of paths leading off. But yeah, that's what we're going to do in our next video. So, thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, please give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.
I'm surprised you know the terrain here so
Just when they stop talking.
Lords don't strike me as having much time for wandering in the woods.
Sometimes I would take strolls along here when I wished to be alone.
You always did have a bad habit of disappearing without telling any of us guardsmen.
Alright, cool. Thank you very much. Take care.